It's 9 o'clock. We're just 24 hours a little late, and usually we go live on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And today it's Thursday. It's Heather Boyd Wire, and welcome to all those live wires out there. I gave a little name to the viewers last week because I did a poll in my community page, and it was overwhelming results that you guys are officially the live wires. It's Kat is the first one on. Hey Kat, thanks so much for your patience with I had to postpone yesterday's because I had a couple of friends that they do live comedy, and they were doing a gig last night, and I totally had forgotten about it. Clarice is on. Hello, and Fern. Awesome, guys. You guys are amazing. So I'm just going to click open the big screen so that I can. Oh, I gotta mute it so I can see your guys' comments. That's awesome. And I'm going to get right to work because today we're going to do astrology jewelry, and I'm going to get as many done as I can. So let's flip the screen and get started. There we go. So let's just get it down here so I can see what I'm doing. There's my little sheet to show what. Oh, Joanna's on. She caught me live. Yes, you caught me. So let me just fix up the screen here so this is in a good position. Hopefully I'm not going to bang that so you guys can see what's going on. And yeah, please, as always, chat in the chat box between you guys, amongst yourselves, because sometimes when I get working, lose a little bit of track of time. So here are, I did a printout of the astrology signs from the computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do as many of these symbols as I can, but I also wanted to try one of these with the little star beads. And it's so funny, how the universe always has a mind of its own. And I was originally just going to do these symbols. And then I realized today I was making Christmas tree earrings, and I had these little stars to go on top of the Christmas tree. So I said, that's good timing. So why don't I just go ahead and incorporate those? So what I'm going to do is just clip this one here. And this is 22 gauge artistic wire. I'm going to try to scroll through the comments a little bit when I can. So there we go. And let's just try to do this one here. So we'll just do a little quickie one. Oh, Clarice is Sagittarius. Well, we better do a Sagittarius then, Clarice, because I'm a Sagittarius. And I think we might have already established that. When is your birthday, Clarice? I forget what day it is. You let me know what day your birthday is. And so what I'm going to do to get started is always the trick with these things is to actually do a loop at the top. So I'm going to do the Cancer one just because it's a little bit simple. So so Heather Miller says, "Hi, so am I. You're also Sagittarius. Maybe we're going to have and we have a Virgo, and Clarice is on the 14th. Well, mine is on the 29th of November, so we're not that far away." There we go. So as always with the earrings, let's just do a little loop at the top. We're going to go around like that. I actually don't know a lot about astrology. So I don't know if you guys know a lot about it, if any of you are into it. And Heather Miller's on the 21st. That's hilarious. So we're just like within a couple of weeks. That is so funny. So here we go. Here's a little loop at the top. So let's try to get one of those star beads on there, and hopefully the hole is big enough to go on there. So let's start with a small one. We're just going to put the little, yes, so this is lucky. The 22 gauge wire actually works with that. So we're going to stick the little star on there. And then what we're going to have to do is figure out a way to actually get it to hold in place. So let's just twist the wire around a little bit like this. So, and Claudia's on. Hey, Claudia, you're Pisces. Oh, very cool. That's awesome. So I'll have to look at the Pisces designs too. I'll try to get Virgo, Pisces, and we have a Leo. Oh gosh, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do them all, but we'll see how many we can do. So here's this one. We're going to start with this one star, and then I'm going to put another star on there. And like I said, this is the Cancer one. So, and there seems to be 5 main stars. So let's just do this. I'm not quite sure where you can buy these beads, but I can definitely, after the live stream, check it out online and see where you could buy them. These are kind of uh, metal beads, metal star beads, but you could also use plastic ones too if you wanted to. And so, but the idea is to have a decent size hole in the bead, so it's actually going to be able to fit 2 wires in, because these designs are a little bit complex. So we have 2 stars there already. So now let's just put our bigger star in there. And this would take a long time to do all the symbols. So I'll just do this one just to try it out. And then we're going to do the other symbols. So we're going to stick the big one on there. So now we have 3. It's kind of cool. We've got 3 stars on there now. So let's just twist it around and go around and around. And how many of you are Canadians and celebrated Thanksgiving? Let me know in the comments. I actually went. I was supposed to go up to my parents' cottage, but my mom wasn't super well. She had a cold, so we ended up closing up the cottage and having Thanksgiving in Ottawa. So here's the 3rd little star. So now at this point, you're just going to twist this enough that it holds in place, and we're going to split these wires. Okay, we'll just split them apart, and now we'll put the other last 2 stars. Now this could be a really cute little pendant. And the other thing I was thinking is I probably could have surrounded these beads with the wire too, but for this one, I'm just going to keep it simple. So now to finish it off, just clip the end and then get your little round pliers and and because this is going to be sitting vertically, just gravity is going to hold these in place. So let's do the last one. And this is kind of cool. So maybe what I'll do is work on these designs after the fact, and then post some other DIY videos later about how to do the whole set. And we have a Taurus. Peggy says she's a Taurus. And we can do the Pisces as one of our next blindfold challenge. Well, that would be interesting, Claudia, to do these blindfolded. I'll definitely have to practice before we did that. And if you guys don't know, Claudia is visually impaired. She has a great YouTube channel that we work together on, and we've done some blindfold challenges. So we'll definitely have to do more of those because those are super fun. And your video that's coming out tomorrow is really great too, Claudia. It's she was did a sort of like a inspirational chit chat with a transformational coach. So that's coming up too. Maybe I'll link that in the description of this video too, just for fun, because it's always good to be inspired, right? So let's just twist this around. So now it looks like we have somewhat of an astrology type. I'll just bend it in place so it kind of looks like that one. So that quite looks like that Cancer symbol, which is super cool. So there's number 1. And we have a Cancer, we have a Aquarius. Oh, I'm also an Aquarius. 2-9 is my month. Okay, cool. Got it. Nice. Awesome. So let's get going with these symbols. Okay. So we're going to start with the Aries. I'm going to use a slightly thicker wire for that. So I have this gold copper. It's artistic copper wire, but in the gold color. And I'm going to use the 20 gauge wire for these other ones because we don't need to put beads through them. So as for size, actually, why don't we start with Sagittarius, because Clarice and, oh, I have to scroll back to see who else was Sagittarius. Oh, guys, I'm losing track. I'm losing my mind. There we go. It was Clarice and Heather. That was it. Okay, so let's do Sagittarius, and then we're going to do some more. So Laura says, I'm here, but I'm late, but I'm here now. Well, that's what's important, that you're here now. So we're going to do these symbols. Let me cut a piece that's long enough for the Sagittarius. And actually, the Sagittarius one is very similar to the looks like almost like the male symbol, which I've done before out of wire and beads. So there we go. So let's just start with this, and we're just gonna start and do like we have to do like a little arrow thing. But then the other thing you have to take into consideration is you have to have a loop to hang it on. So let's just go ahead and do a little loop. Now, Clarice, I'll be excited to see. I'm sure you're going to do this on your own because Clarice always does these projects. So you're going to be especially motivated because this is your astrology sign. So we've done a little loop. There's the beginning of the arrow, and now we want to bend it back on itself. So let's just, I don't know if you guys can see, I'm just going to hold it on the side to see how you bend it back on itself like that. Okay, and we're going to form the arrow. So that's the start of it. And now we want to hold it up there and bend it back to form the kind of arrow like that. Okay, so that's looking like an arrow, and then we're gonna bend that back, and right away you have the arrow like that. And now you could just go ahead and even clip it. You could even use, say, 18 gauge with wire with this if you want it a little thicker, but I think 20 is a good gauge. So look, we already have the arrow like that, and now we want to do like a little, um, this little bit here, the little cross. But actually, I think what I'm gonna do, like, instead of doing the crossbar first, I'm going to go right to the end because I want to do it in a way that it's going to be nice and finished. And we're going to bend that to the back. So we're going to bend that to the back. So we have that like that. And then we're going to bend it where the crossbar will be to the kind of to the left like that. We're going to bend it where the crossbar is and then just pinch it a little bit to hold it in place. And then bend that back over, okay, like that. So this is the front, and then hold it in place and then bend this to the back. And you'll see how we're going to hide that little rough edge. So we've bent it to the back now, and we're just going to give it a little bit of a clip. Okay, let's just give it a little bit of a clip like that. And then to get rid of that little pokey end, we'll just push it in a little bit like that. So already we have the Sagittarius little symbol, and that could be earrings or it could be a pendant. So Claudia says, "Thank you. I'm an amazing editor." Well, I do my best to edit the videos. I do all my own editing too, and just on iMovie, so it's kind of fun. So let's do that one, and then how about okay? I'm seeing Taurus now, so let's do Laura's a Taurus, so let's do Taurus. That's the last comment, and I'm gonna do as many of these as I can. So let's just cut a little piece like this. Probably about 6 inches is going to do you for most of these designs. You might need a little bit more. And the thing to keep in mind is you do need like a little loop at the top to hold it in place. So let's see what we can do for the Taurus. So if we start with the little loop, because you do need that little round circle, let's see what we're going to do with this. We'll do like a little loop. Okay, and we want it to be able to hold in place. So like we want these ends to go up, but we also want a little loop. So you could either do a loop on one end or a loop in the middle. So let's just see what we're going to do here. I was thinking it would be cool to do a little loop in the middle, although in theory, you could even put the earring hook in the middle like that, which would be kind of cool as well. So that might work. So maybe we'll just try to keep it simple then, and we'll just like loop this up like that. Okay. And this one too, we'll just hold it with the round pliers and loop it up. Okay, like that. And I'm just thinking to, because it's really important to kind of finish the ends. So let's see what we could do about that. If we kind of bend this one back, because I don't like to just like cut off the end and have it sharp, especially if it's an earring. So what if we just bend this back down like that? If we bend it like that and back like that, maybe what we could do is kind of bend it up in the middle a little bit. This is, like I'm saying, this is very experimental, you guys. You know me from my other videos that sometimes these things works and sometimes they don't. So Kathy says Aquarius next. Sure, let's do Aquarius next. Aquarius is also my daughter. My daughter, Mimi, a lot of you guys know Mimi. She was born on Valentine's Day and she's an Aquarius. So and I can't take full credit for her being born on Valentine's Day because she was actually overdue by 10 days, and the doctor looked at the calendar and said, "Oh, what's a good day for you to have your baby?" And she said, "Huh, how about February 14th, Valentine's Day?" So I'm not sure Mimi really, loves having a birthday on Valentine's Day, but that's what happened. So there we go. So we have this is kind of looking very cool. And like I said, it's done in a way that the ends are going to be nice and discreet because you don't really want any pokey ends. So I just kind of finished it in the middle like that. And Clarice's the 18th. The 18th is your birthday? Oh, I thought you put a different date. Okay, I'm losing track of comments here. So there we go. So let's just spread this out a little bit. So it's looking like the Taurus. And then what I'm going to do here is just do like a little loop because it's always good to have something to hang the hook or the jump ring on for a necklace. And you could probably do it without that if you wanted to. And I'll probably end up like tweaking some of these designs, but for now it's kind of fun to just play around with it because I don't know that I've ever made these. And if I did, it was like many years ago. So I did experiment with some designs like quite a few years ago, but now I don't remember what they look like. Maybe I'll dig out my old sketches. So this would be like a Taurus, which is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and do Aquarius. So which one is the Aquarius? Oh, it's like the little waves. Okay, so there we go. Your grandson is the 15th of February. Oh, that's so cool. How old is your grandson? Mimi's 22 this year, turning 23. It's hard to believe. Okay, so let's just cut a little piece for the Aquarius. And same thing with the Aquarius. You want to have a kind of a loop to hang it up on. So let's go ahead. The other thing you could do is do like a little frame and put these shapes inside a frame, which would be another way to do it. So, but for these ones, I'm going to try to keep them pretty streamlined like this. So Clarice said their daughter is the 18th of February. Oh, that's funny. We have a lot of people with similar birthdays. So let's go do a little wavy thing here, and I'm just gonna see how we could do this. So if it's like that, oh, has she? I'm not sure. This should be maybe okay. I'm gonna start that one over. That's not quite what I had in mind. So let's just start it again, because sometimes you have an idea and then it doesn't quite go where you want to do. So maybe we'll start with the bottom wave. I think it's going to be easier because we want to make sure that it's going to all come together. So we're going to do like a little wave. So it goes kind of with our round pliers down and up. Maybe I'll even use the slightly smaller pliers. So down and up. Okay. And it looks like there's kind of 3 waves. So let's just do 3 waves. Down and up. Okay. So, and then you're going to have to discreetly bring this one up. So let's try to bend it to the back. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We'll just give it a try. And then this one looks like you can just, yeah, we could bend it to the back too. So we're going to go like that. So we have one wave with the wires kind of bent to the back like that. And then we want to kind of replicate those waves on the second row. So we're just going to go there and we're going to go follow the waves again. What I should have done is maybe looked up kind of other ideas for wire astrology, but I thought it'd be fun just to kind of wing it. And you could, definitely Google wire astrology symbols and see what kind of other ideas that people have. Because I'm sure there's some really interesting ones out there as well, and everybody's got their own style. So let's just go down. This is kind of interesting, but I think I would like to also try to do them within a frame. So there, so now it actually ends in the right place. And it's very stylized. It's very hard to get these perfect because the lines are not all connected in the design. Like they're not all, some of them, are separate. And there's really no other way to do it except to have a connecting line. So here's the Aquarius, and we have to do a little loop at the top. So as always, we'll bend it to the side and get the larger round pliers and do a loop like that and just loop it around. And then the loop is going to be pretty discreet if you hang it onto an earring hook. So, but you definitely need a loop, otherwise it's going to like rattle all over the place. So here's the Aquarius, and I'm making these quite small because they're going to be earrings. So let me go. Let me just scroll down the comments. Okay, so we've got Taurus, we have Sagittarius, we have Aquarius. What were some of the other ones? Cancer. So Ramon says Cancer. So let's find that. And which one is the Cancer one? Oh, that's a cool one too. Look at that. It almost looks like a little yin yang thing. So let's do the Cancer one. And oh, we need Virgo too. Okay, so let's do Cancer and then Virgo. And then I don't know if I'll have time for more, but we'll at least do those ones. So Cancer first. So we've got a nice like 6 or 8 inch piece of wire. Oh, and we need area for Fleur says Aries too. Okay, well, let's see what we could do. So, and if I don't get them all done, I'll do some more after. So let's do the Cancer. So for the Cancer one, we need to start with like a little loop. Here, I'll bring the design over so you can still see it. It's over there. So let's start with like a little loopy thing with the round pliers. I love these round pliers because they've got nice big loops on them, which are great. These are one of my favorite pliers. I actually bought these ones years ago in Toronto. So it goes like this. Now, the trick is to get it so it looks like it's separate. And I'm really not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. So let me try, because if you just do another loop there, it's just going to look like a funny little design. So let me just see if I can try something. If it doesn't work, I can redo it. So we're going to bend that back on itself. So that looks like kind of one of the edges, or whatever you would call that, like one of the little lines. And then let's bring this back over here, okay, and try the other side to make it look a little bit yin-yangy type of that thing. So if we do this like line over here, and then at least you have a little bit of separation there. I'm not quite sure if this is going to work as planned, but we can just try it. So we're going to go around like this. And then the thing is, you do really want to end with some kind of loop thing. So let's just bend that back on itself, okay? And center it. And then when you get to the center, bend it up like that. And then this other end that was at the back, we can just continue it, hold it and continue it back. And then you just want to end this one here. I think this could look pretty good. And it gives it a little kind of illusion of being two separate pieces, even though it is one piece of wire. Like that's the trick, is to get it to look right. So let's go ahead now and just bend this a little bit on a right angle. Hold the pliers, bend them around, bend that around, and then just, I always like to give it a complete twist so it's nice and solid. Like that. And then this is kind of cool because it actually, like this end is, I don't know if you could see, but this end is kind of loose a bit, but it's strong enough because it's got a double wire, like it's bent back like that. And it gives the illusion of being two separate pieces. So I think I like this one all right. I think it's not too bad. So let's do that one. And then we're going to do Virgo. So let's go ahead and do the Virgo. We'll get another piece of wire. Looks good. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, that one's a tricky one because you want to, like I said, it's really hard to get things to look like the image. You know, it's easy to draw a picture, but to do it out of wire, like you guys know, it's really challenging. So the Virgo looks almost like an M. And oh, I got a plus. Thanks, Fleur. That's awesome. So let's just go ahead and just do like a little, this looks like a little kind of a M thing. So I'm not sure if I'm seeing this. Well, the Scorpio's like an M. This one's a little different. I'm not 100% sure what that looks like, but it looks a bit like an M. So let's just try it. But it's very similar to the Scorpio. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and we just did that line like that. So then we're going to bend this to the back. Go ahead and bend that to the back. And then this looks like sort of like an old style cursive M. So we're going to bend it and then bend this down a bit. And then again, and hopefully I cut the wire long enough because that's also something you have to be very careful about. And bend that again. And oh, it's kind of looking cool. This wire is really nice, actually, this artistic copper wire in the 20 gauge. I really like it. Okay, and then we're going to, this end looks like it's a little bit lower. This here is a little bit lower than the middle line. So then we're going to bend it back again to the back and bring that up a bit. And then sort of not halfway, but like 3/4, 2/3 of the way up, we're going to bend it again. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is a loop. So if I was, yeah, I should have redone it and done like a little loop there. But for now, I'm just going to keep going with it. And we're going to bend this around. And this one looks like it kind of crosses over here. I'd have to see another image of it to see exactly what it's doing there, but it looks like this crosses over. So because I forgot to do the loop, maybe we could go ahead back up, we could back up again and see if that's going to work. So, you know, give this a good pinch like that. I'm going to bend this one back. Okay, so we're going to bend it kind of back on itself. And then I'm going to follow this line. So I'm kind of like hiding this wire behind the other, that long edge there. So it's like that. And then now I'm just going to trace backwards to the middle where I was before. Trace backwards. And then you always want the loop to be sort of centered on your design so it won't like hang lopsided. This one, there will be more weight on this side because I have an extra bit of wire there. So it's okay if it hangs a little bit on a tilt. So now we want to bend this wire back too. So the trick in all this is just, like I said, not having any little sharp pieces, little random ends that you don't know what to do with. So this way, by backtracking over itself, you can actually hide all these little ends. This is looking really good. Wow, I'm surprised. Sometimes I surprise myself. Oh my goodness. I think it's often I give how do you say? I call it a divine download. So you're working on something and you're not even consciously doing it. It just happens and it works well. So Charlene's hopped on. She says, "Hello, hey Charlene, how are you? We're just doing astrology. I guess these could be pendants or earrings. So now, as always, I'm going to do the loop at the top. So we're going to do our little loop at the top and then hold it in place like that." And go like that. And there we have, this turned out much better than I thought. This is the Virgo. So that one's really cool. So we've got Virgo. And now let's do the Aries, which is pretty simple. And I think that's going to be it for today because we're running out of time. But we'll do the Aries. So that'll be 6. And then maybe I'll do another video with the other 6 of them. And maybe I can actually, maybe I'll live stream the other 6 next week. I could do that because I didn't really have a project plan for next week. So maybe I'll do that. So there, and Princess looks great. Awesome. That's so great. I'm glad you like it. So now for the Aries, it's very simple, but we do need like a little loop on it somewhere. So we could put the loop in the middle, or you could put the loop to one side, depending on how you want it to sit. If you put it to one side, it's going to sit on an angle. So let's go ahead and to start the Aries, just bend the wire in half, really. So we'll just bend it in half like that. And then we're going to get, you could either get round pliers or like even a pen or something just to do these loops like this. So we're going to do one loop like that. Okay, and then the other one, if you have it with your pliers, then they're going to be in the same direction. So if we go like that, it looks a little bit like an M. Yay, the Hitler says, thank you for doing Aries. So let's just try a couple of different ways and see what we could do. So if we do it like this, actually, this might be a better way to do it. I was going to do a loop, but I'm realizing it's probably better to do it this way. We can just spread it a little bit here. If I hold this and spread it a little bit, because you don't want it spread too much, but you do want to spread it out a little bit like that. Okay. And let me just get the round pliers like that. And then the idea is, because you don't want any rough ends, I was going to wind it around my ring form, but it's a little too big. But you could, you know what would be ideal for this is to use the end of a pen or a marker. That would be perfect. And then now what you could do, because you want it finished really nicely, we're just going to bend one end back here. So we're going to hold this here. Let's turn it upside down. We're going to hold this end and bend it back like that. Bent it to the back, and then we're going to get our round pliers again and bring it back in. And let's do the same on the other side. So we're just going to bend, try to get it as symmetrical as possible. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge. We're going to bend that to the back. So both of the wires were bent to the back. And we're going to just give this a little bend like that. Okay. It's kind of cool. I think this end ended up being a little bit bigger, but that's all right. And then, because you need a loop to hang it on, let's go ahead and hold this and then bend it up. Okay, it's going to be bent up like that. And then this one too, we're going to hold it and just bend it, not fully up, but just kind of on an angle a little bit. Okay, and then you want this to wind around the main wire like that. My grandson is 2 years. Aw, cutie. That's so sweet. I have my great niece is 3, and my other great niece, who was just born well, almost a year ago, she'll be a year in on November 27th. So she's another Sagittarius. There we go. So I've just uh, wound that wire around there to secure it in place. And like I said, you have to like have some way to finish these, and not only to hide the sharp ends, but to hold them together, because especially when you're wearing earrings, it's very easy for them to get caught on things and to get like mangled out of shape. So now I've just turned this on a 45-degree angle. We're going to get the round pliers to make our loop at the top, because you always need a loop to hang the earrings on. Or if you're doing a pendant, it would be to hang the jump ring on, to hang it on a cord. And then we're just going to clip it. And there is the Aries, like that. Looks great. Now I want one. Ha ha ha. Well, I guess you'll have to make one, or maybe I should start making some earrings like this to put in my Etsy shop. We'll have to see about that. So let me just, I'm going to lay them out to show you guys. And so we have Aries right here, and we have the Cancer. There we have Taurus. Actually, I'm going to bring the camera up closer to them after so you could see. Taurus, and then Sagittarius. And then we have Virgo. And we have Aquarius. And then, of course, we have this Cancer one that was done in a different way with little stars. So just excuse me while I bring the camera down to show you guys. There we go. So it's a little closer. So these are actually pretty cool. I'm really happy for these, and you guys gave me some great energy and enthusiasm tonight. That's awesome. So yeah, so let me know in the comments below if you're watching the replay, to let me know which ones you like. Let me know also in the comments what your sign is. Kathy says bravo. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And I'll take a picture and put it in the Facebook page. Let me just turn the camera around. There we go. Hello. So yeah, that's it for this week. Taurus says I love them all. Thank you so much. So you know what I'm going to do is next week I will do the other 6 astrology signs. How about that? And that gives me something to look forward to. Next week we'll go back to Wednesday for the live stream. And yeah, so if you guys aren't already a member of the Facebook group, the Wire Art and Jewelry Makers Club, be sure to join. And if you're not on Facebook, no worries. You could share photos with me, email photos of your work to info@heatherboydwire.com, and I'll share them in the community section of the YouTube there. If you want to check out our work, we have an Etsy shop. My husband and I make wire art and jewelry, and we actually specialize in wedding cake toppers. So if you know anyone getting married, in the next little while, we do custom orders, little, bicycles and things. Here's a little bicycle that I made many, many years ago. This is a pendant, and we do all kinds of other kinds of jewelry and stuff. Uh, oh, Kat says they are so beautiful. I would put a birthstone on it. That is a great idea. I actually thought of adding beads, but I think that would be a great evolution of the design is to add some birthstones. I would have to figure out where exactly to put the stones, but I think that's a great idea. So maybe I'll give that a shot as well. And yeah, so thanks you guys for hopping on the live stream, and we'll definitely see you next week. And keep in touch in the comments on Facebook. You can email me anytime, and yeah, we'll definitely see you next time.